2.
Okay, we're official. You guys are good to go.
Yeah. Want to do any introductions, Todd? Or I can do it?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. So welcome to webinars to generate leads. One of the big things that we've all been talking about, and frankly, every single speaker that we've had has all been talking about, that webinars are the new open houses of the future. And so I am super, super stoked that we've got we've got 3 of our social squad experts that are here to share with you their experiences and best practices. Please, this is a very interactive group. These people are doing this real time. They're generating leads, they're converting leads. There are a plethora of information. So please make sure that you ask plenty of questions. Again, you've got 2 different places you can do it. You've got in the Q&A, which is my favorite because I know it's a question. And then you've got the chat box. Chat box, you can talk smack to each other and do all those things. So why don't we first just jump into some introductions. Delphine, why don't we start with you? Who you are, where you are, and how they might get a hold of you.
So I'm Delphine with Coldwell Banker Distinctive Property here in Montrose, Colorado. I cover all the Western Slope in Colorado, and you can reach me at 970-393-2770 or on all social media platforms at Distinctive Delphine.
Love it. And we've got Heather Erb. Heather?
Hi, Heather Erb, Managing Broker of Coldwell Banker Heritage House Realtors. I am in Durango. I have 65 agents across 4 different offices in the southwest corner of the state. You can reach me, Heather, at realestatedurango.com.
Beautiful. And then Adam Greenberg.
I'm Adam Greenberg. I'm in Bozeman, Montana with Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties, and you can reach me at 406-580-6020 or adam@mtrec.org. That's adam@mtrec.org.
All right, beautiful. So again, very interactive. These folks are putting these practices in place. They've done a number of them. They've generated leads. They've converted leads. I think at least one of them has had a closing from one of the leads directly related to webinars. So this is your group of experts to ask any questions. I'm going to sort of put myself in the background. I'm going to let you all, if you've got a presentation you want to share, what have you, but please let me know what I can do to help. And with that, I'll just hand it over. Who's taking control?
I'm going to take control. Thanks, Todd.
Beautiful.
I wanted to start out by telling you guys why you need to learn how to use webinars for leads. So the coronavirus has given us this unique opportunity to rethink the way we're doing business. And if you think about all the ways you were trying to get leads in the past, how many hours it took you to get ready for a traditional open house, you're spending your whole Saturday or Sunday at it, and then you might get 1 buyer or 2 buyers comes through, and then you're trying to explain to your seller that it didn't work, and they say, well, just do it again. Maybe you just didn't do it right. Or how many thousands of dollars did you spend on Zillow leads or on traditional advertising in a fancy magazine? So for me, webinars fulfill a few different needs for me. But in my company, I'm running a bunch of agents. I'm not doing them for my personal sales. It's for my agents. I'm not sitting around waiting for things to just get back to normal with traditional marketing. And I don't want to have an office full of agents that is not thinking forward and is just thinking, well, we'll just start doing open houses again sometime in the future. And they're kind of sitting back waiting for things to happen. No, I want to be looking for those buyers and sellers wherever they're at, on whatever medium they prefer to watch on. I want to do the work. I want to learn about where those buyers and sellers, how to get them to tune in, and how I can get the most eyes on the property that we have for sale, right? And then I want the sellers who have their properties listed with us to know that we're doing everything we can to get those eyes on it and to be able to get their properties sold. So for me, it's the way that I stand out from the crowd, or my office can stand out from the crowd. We're the first to do it in town. And it's also the way that I feel I am pivoting to change my business in the new way of doing things. So I wanted to hand it over to Delphine and ask you, what are some of the reasons that you like using webinars?
So I love using webinar because I want to be top of mind all the time. So I've put a schedule on my page, on my business page on Facebook, and I go at least live 3 times a week, sometimes up to 5 times a week, depending on what I have going on. So I want to be able to be the one to educate my sphere of influence. So as they know, I'm new, I'm a new agent, if nobody knows, but I'm fairly new, and I want them to know that I know what I'm talking about. So the webinars really allow me to share amazing information with my sphere of influence and to be the top of mind, but also the expert in my field. So if they were questioning, does Delphine know what she's talking about? She just started in real estate, and they see my webinars, they see me on this, or really just seeing the activity online gets me to be the expert in my field. So that's the number one priority. The second one is that when you go on live on Facebook or on YouTube, or the algorithm of the internet will catch it differently than if you post a video. So as you post a video, you're going to have certain views, and they have to press play if it's from YouTube, depending on where it's from. But you're not going to have the same exposure as when you go live. When you go live, it's exposed everywhere else. So I also like to make sure my branding is on everything. So I use Streamyard for branding, and I make sure that every time I go live, I now have a rhythm. So on Wednesday, I do Webinar Wednesday. Why? Because we have this amazing source of webinars that Todd kindly put online for us that I introduce, and then I hit play, and it will just come just like if it's my own content when we have Michael Sheargold on, or Tom Ferry, and again, I play it on my platform as the expert sharing this really valuable information to educate my sphere.
Delphine, how many people are you talking about? Like, how many people tune in for one of your webinars by the time it's done its rotation?
So by the time it's done, it's really, really important to know that if you have no one viewing your video at the time you play your video, it does not matter. I reach out to my community and I promote local businesses 2 or 3 times a week, depending on how busy it is, or once a week. Once I do that as well, and I talk to nonprofits and things like this, I share on all of my local groups on Facebook. So find your groups, whether they are anything that you like, just do that. Like we have a Montrose message board, we have a Montrose care, we have a Montrose real estate, we have a Montrose, just find your groups. And if groups that are helpful to your buyers and your sellers do not exist, create them. That is so important. And then you share your video, your live video on all those groups. I will advise to share those videos after 5:30 and before 8 p.m.
Yeah, and we'll get more into the little nitty gritty of it, but what are you talking about for views?
I'm talking about within 24 hours up to 800, and within 3 days you go close to 15 to 2,000.
Good job.
1,500 to 2,000 views.
What about you, Adam? What's your why? Why do you use webinars?
I like to use webinars for lead capture. Views are great, and it helps you with your branding, obviously, and helps, again, following up on what Delphine says, it positions you to be the expert in your field. But for me, I'd rather also, on top of that, also get the lead capture out of it. So the availability of us being able to register people for the webinar allows you to capture them and upload them into your CRM and then put them on your drip campaigns or follow up. And we'll get into the nitty gritty of how you follow up here as we go down or as we go through the process. But again, I want to also reiterate what Delphine said, which is you have to join groups. Okay. Now, for example, you can do all of your local groups as she was talking about in your specific area, but also it's a great, it is a really good way to get referrals all over the country and literally all over the world, because guess what? There's a first-time home buyer page in every city, and there's usually multiples of them. So you can use that, and I've used it to get referrals out of it. I already have 2 or 3 in process right now. And you can take the content that we're using and share it to these groups that are all over the place, and you start interacting with all these first-time home buyers. Plus, it also gives you great content to see what these people are asking, right? We're always telling you, if you're struggling with what content should I be talking about when I'm making my videos or putting on my posts, these people are just feeding you full of questions, especially first-time home buyers. I can't believe, to me, the thing that's most astounding to me is that I don't think they have a very good agent helping them out, because they're asking really basic questions that maybe I take for granted that I would explain and manage their expectations, and they're just clueless about what's going on and how the process works. So, I mean, it's incredible the amount of information that you get from it as far as your leads, but also the content that it allows you to prepare for going forward with future webinars.
Adam, now that you've set the stage, and Delphine, thanks for the why, can you take us through how to set it up, how to do it, Adam?
Sure, I'm gonna start with the Zoom platform, which I think most of us are pretty familiar with. So I'm gonna share my screen. This is about a 5.5 minute video. It's gonna take you step by step through the process of how to set up a webinar through Zoom, all right? I might pause it and talk us through it, a couple things. Feel free to ask questions. Teresa can stop me, and I'd be happy to answer anything that you have. So you pull up your page on Zoom, right? And it looks like this. And I should start out by saying, if you didn't see the previous webinar we did with the Social Squad a couple weeks ago, you have to purchase the add-on. So you can get a free Zoom account, costs you nothing, or you can get a pro account that costs you $15. And then to get the webinar add-on is an additional $40. So it's for $55 a month. You get the ability to register. You can't use the registration page in Zoom unless you purchase that webinar add-on. However, once you do that, you can also register people in meetings. It's not just webinars. So you have the ability to, if you're just doing meetings too, that you're posting out there live, or just between the people that are on the Zoom call, you can make them register as well. All right, so you get to this page. Excuse me, I'm gonna hit play here. So you hit the webinars button, schedule a webinar. And I'm gonna go in and just type, whatever the top 5 things, whatever you wanna talk about, your description, put that in there also, whatever you're gonna discuss in detail. And you're gonna scroll down, use this template, you have your date set. Make sure you're in your proper time zone right there. I'm gonna pause it for a second. Right here is this registration. You wanna make sure you click that, okay? That allows you to get people to register for the event. All right, this next thing is the webinar password. It's up to you whether or not you wanna use it. However, I'm gonna show you here in a second that I'm setting this up also for on-demand webinars. All right, so that means someone at any time can register in and watch your webinar. So the first one is live, and then everything else after that is basically they're getting access to the recording of that webinar. All right, so I'm gonna continue on. Move on down. Now here's the webinar options. I highly recommend that you enable the practice session like I did there, and you click the make the webinar. Sorry, every time I do it, a thing pops up, but you make the webinar on demand. You wanna hit that button too. It'll automatically bring up that one below it that will record the webinar automatically, and you can choose whether to record it to your computer or your hard drive or in the cloud on Zoom, okay? So you do that, you get it all set up, and you hit schedule. All right, so now we're gonna go down into the registration page, and we're gonna edit that because you can do your own questions on this. All right, so you move down here, hit the edit button. All right, so right there, I'm gonna pause it again. You can see this is the first page on the registration. It's required. You'll automatically approve them, right? I like to click right where my cursor is frozen on notification. It sends me an automatic email when someone registers. That way, you can also look at it through Zoom, but it also tells me how many people are registering. I just like that so I can kind of keep track as we go. All right, I continue on here. So other options, you want to click that so that people can register after the date. You can restrict the number of registrants, allow people to do multiple devices. Now you can go in and set your own questions. Now Zoom automatically sets it up so that they have to put in their name and email, which is really all you need. I like to add where they're from. I'm clicking the state, province, and their phone number, just so I can have it to go. Then you hit save all, and bam, you're ready to go with your webinar. So now we're gonna go into actually doing the webinar, all right? So you're also, oh, I'm sorry. You see that there? That is the registration link. That link you are gonna put in your Facebook posts. You can put it on your website, anywhere you're gonna post it. That way, if you set up an event on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else, you put that link into your post, and it'll take them to the registration page. And then if you've never done it before, and I'm sure most of us have at this point, once you register, you get an email back that says, here's the link to the actual webinar. All right, so there is your link right there. That's what you want to copy. Continuing on.
So Adam, one quick question. How did you get to the setting page in Zoom?
To the which page in Zoom?
How you got that setting page in Zoom?
Oh, so once you save your webinar, I'm going to back it up just a little bit here, the video. Once you save it, you just want to scroll down, as I'm going to show you here. And at the bottom of your save is that whole area. Sorry, let me back it up just a little bit more. All right, so it's scheduled, and as you scroll down right here, this is at the bottom of the page. Okay, and you're in your invitations, your email settings, your branding, all these things that you can do. And then, as I showed you here, you go into the edit, and then that takes you to the registration page, and you can now edit what happens on your registration page. Does that answer the question?
Yep. So Samson, I'm not sure. He says, how did you get to that page? So are you, Samson, are you asking how he originally set up the webinar itself? Why don't you type that in as Adam? Okay. Yes, he is.
I won't go back, but you can go back and watch this.
Yep.
Yep. And you'll see how we do it from the beginning.
I'm going to break in, Adam, just to point out, just from someone has started this more recently than you, when you have your Zoom account and you go for I think it's called the Pro account, and then you have to do a webinar add-on. Okay, so if there's no webinar add-on, then add-on, all you're going to see on the left-hand side of the page is starting meetings. The webinar part will jump up as soon as you upgrade your account to the webinar add-on.
Correct. And again, you can still use your registrant page once you purchase the webinar add-on for meetings. You don't have to hold a webinar. But the ability of the webinar to do on-demand webinars is why you want to use it, basically. All right, so now we're going to move into actually doing the webinar and posting it to, in this case, Facebook. All right, so you go in and click Start the Meeting. You're going to open up your Zoom. There I am. Hi, everybody. Okay, so as you can see up here, I'm in practice mode. All right, what that means is I can mess around and practice doing what I'm doing, so I'm not live yet to anything. So now we're going to link to Facebook so that you can do your streaming on the Facebook. Once you hit the broadcast button, by the way, that's when it'll start recording in Zoom. So you go down there to the More section. Let me just back that up because it was quick. But right over here is More on the bottom right. You want to click on that, and this is where you go to link to Facebook or YouTube or anywhere else you're going to go. Okay, it takes you to Facebook. You can now choose where you want it to go. All right, you can share it on your timeline. You can share it in a group. You can share it in an event or on a page you manage. In this case, I did it just to a private group because I knew I was pre-recording this and I wanted you guys to see how it worked.
Adam, since you're right there, could you point out why you were mentioning to me, I do it for my whole office, but even though you're creating an event on Facebook for whatever you're doing, when you go live, you were explaining that you want to share it, don't share it into the event. You're sharing it either on your timeline or on your page. correct?
Correct. And you probably want to share it. The way I use it is because Facebook, if you have a business account, if you don't have one, definitely get one, because you can't use ads correctly unless you have a business account. That's a whole nother topic that we can get into at a future time, but you want to make sure that you go at least live to your business page, and then you can share it to any other page, your personal pages, and go from there. And Delphine will get into Streamyard here shortly, which allows you to post.
But really, really important, once you share it on your page, you'll be able to track how many seconds your video has been watched, what time has been watched the most, by what group of women, men, what age. Facebook will break all that down for you. If you do it on your personal profile, you will not have that data.
Yes, that's why you need that business page. So if you don't have one set up, do it. All right, moving on. So I'm going to pick that we're going to share it in a group, which is going to be my private team page. I'm sure my guys were like, what the heck's going on here? Because I keep posting these as practice. All right, so now it's taking us to what they call the, I think it's called Live Producer. And you're setting up your stream now for live on Facebook, and in this case, to my group page of Montana Real Estate Consultants. All right, so you're going to put in a title, and if you want, you can also put in a description up above it, and then, let's see what I did here. You're ready to go live, but now I just want to make sure I'm all set up. So I'm going back and I'm going to hit this broadcast button. So now it's going to start recording, and it'll take us live to everybody that is a registrant. All right. So now I'm going to share my screen, get it ready. And in this case, let me stop it here. If you don't know, you can, if you have multiple screens, you can choose your screens, desktop 1, desktop 2, which is a second screen, or you can actually share the individual tabs in your browser. Okay, so I have 2 browsers open right now. One is obviously the Google Chrome that you're watching the Facebook on, and then this is, you'll see here in a moment, this is where I'm going to take us to as far as what I'm sharing. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up so that when I go live on Facebook, I'm sharing my screen already. So I'm going to share the screen, and now I'm going to hit this bottom right, go live. Okay, bam, we're live on Facebook now on my page. Even though it's loading up, I've learned that you're already live. If it already says you're live, you're live. So you can start talking and going. So even though this is loading.
That's when the timer is helpful.
That's right. And we'll, oh yeah, let's mention that when I'm done too, please. All right, so now we're on.
Can I interrupt for just 1 second? So one of the questions here, Adam, is when you're talking about sharing, so once you've gone live and you're sharing on Facebook, what are some examples of places to be sharing the live so that you get maximum exposure?
Any group that you are an admin for, you can share as many times as you want. If you're, and as far as groups go, again, getting into specific things depending on what your topic is. Like, for example, right now, Todd is sharing this whole thing to the Inside Track group. If you want maximum engagement, you want to share to as many as you can. Now, most of us have more people and friends that are on our personal pages, right? So again, that's why we first load up to our business page and then share it to our personal page, because that's going to get the maximum exposure. And then I also try to look for which groups or which pages have the most people involved. If you're doing investor groups or you're doing all these other groups that have thousands and thousands of people, you can really reach a whole, like an unlimited amount of people. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so now we're live on Facebook. And you can monitor if you, in the way that, let's take a sec to talk about monitoring real quick too, because I know this is overwhelming, but right now you can see I'm sharing the Facebook page, but I'm about to go to this is what people are seeing when they're looking at my page on MTrek, if that's where I'm sharing it to. Now, if you're alone, you can use another screen, you can use your phone, you can use an iPad, so that if people have questions on the Facebook platform, you can answer them live while you're doing it. All right, so now you've gone through your process. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I think we've already done that before. But so you've done your whole presentation, right? And you've hit stop. The thing is over. Now, Zoom is going to process the video, and so is Facebook. So now you can go back, as Delphine was saying, and this is when you want to basically share away all day long. So now we're back into your Zoom page, right? And now you want to go back and set up your on-demand webinar. This is really important. This is what allows you to put this link out there and people can access it anytime. Okay, so now we're here. You're on your basic page. You're going to go down to recordings over here on the left. You're going to see, here's one I've done before, the 5 first-time home buyers. Okay, now right there, you can see the recording is on demand now, okay? So it's just a recording people are gonna access. And if you look right here, you have your registration settings, but you have your view registrants. This is super key when people register, because I'll show you here in a sec as we go. Sorry, I circled this. Do not share this link. What this is a link to the direct video, so you skip registration that way. You still want to be sharing that registration link from when you set up the webinar the first time. Okay, if you share this link to someone, maybe you want to embed this in an email or something and you don't need the registration, this is the link you want to do. It takes them directly to the video. Okay, so now, once you've done that, and you want to view the registrants who have gone. So you want to go to this approved and look at all these people. I think there's 20 people that registered on this. All right, maybe you don't think that's a lot, but these are 20 people that are all, as I think Jeff said this morning on our meeting, they're all raising their hands and they need help. They need help now. These are bottom of the funnel people that are going to be making a move in 1 to 3 months. Okay, let me pause this.
So Adam, we have a question about, once you go live on Facebook, the person no longer has to register to view the webinar, is that correct?
That's correct. If someone's just on Facebook scrolling and they see you pop up that you went live, they don't need to register. They're going to see it live. But we'll get into that too shortly, because there's now a new thing through Back At You Office. I don't know if everybody saw Todd's post yesterday, but it's super cool, and it now allows you to have a register for anything. But we'll get to that here after I'm done. We're almost done with the video. Let me back this up 1 sec. So now you have your 20 people here, right? And you want to upload them to our CRM, or your CRM if you don't use IQ or Back At You Office. Right? So up there in the right corner, there is export. I can't see because my thing's here. Export registrants. So you're going to go over to there. You're going to click that button. Maybe. Here we go. We're going to click this button. And it's going to pull up where you want to save it. And it saves it as a CSV. Down here, you can see comma separated values, the format. And then once you download that to your computer, then you can upload it to your CRM. I'm not going to go into that process. That's a whole nother thing as well, but you can always look on the videos that they provide for us on IQ. Okay, so then you hit save, and you've now uploaded everybody who is on your Zoom registrant list into your CRM. And then you can put them on your drip campaigns, contact them, and do your thing. And I promise you, these people are motivated buyers and sellers. Okay, so you have immediate access to them and immediate conversion, right? I think that is the end of the video, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Again, I know I went quick, so if you have questions, you can either rewatch this or reach out to me. But just real briefly before Delphine talks about Streamyard, which is another streaming platform, and there's more than these two as well. I highly recommend you watch that video that Todd posted yesterday. I watched it this morning. It allows you through the back office of IQ to set up virtual open houses. You can set up an in-person open house, or a pre-recording, right? So just like my webinar is now a pre-recording, I can take that link and I can put it on I can embed it in my website. I can put it on a post that will take people back to your website for lead capture. And it takes that stuff immediately through IQ and uploads it to your CRM. I did a tester. It's awesome. It now gets around what Delphine's going to talk about, which is Streamyard. But Streamyard doesn't have, like Zoom, its own registration portal. But now you do. So go ahead, Delphine, and why don't you show people how to use Streamyard?
Thanks, Adam. That was awesome. So Streamyard is a different platform, and I'm going to share my screen here. The reason why I really enjoy Streamyard is because I can brand everything that I go live with. So there you go. So what's also great about Streamyard is that you can go live on more than one platform at a time if you do the paid subscription. What's great about that is that then you don't have to edit your videos. They can already be on your YouTube channel, ready to go as such right here. And you can edit and do everything you need to do live while you're live on Streamyard. So when you get to Streamyard, you link your social media accounts with Streamyard. And then it's really, really easy to just create a broadcast. I select where do I want to broadcast. So Facebook and YouTube, for example. I'll say test and fun for today. And then I can schedule it for later because I usually try to do my live around 5 p.m. so I can then post them at the prime time after 5:30. So let's say today, 5 p.m., that's fine, right? And then you can upload anything that you want to say, because what's great about Streamyard is that it's going to create that event, that upcoming live on Facebook from here. So I can have this if I want. Any kind of picture that you want to promote your event is what you want to put on Streamyard. So let's say that this is what I want to talk about. I apply this, and this will show on Facebook and announce that I'm coming live today at 5 p.m. I'll have to delete it later. It will also announce it on my YouTube channel. So then we customize each destination, which means that I can make it different. If I want, if you are all in SEO, you can just look at the best words that you want to hear for SEO purposes, and you can change it and make it different for each destination as you wish, or otherwise it will just default to the same. Then I create a broadcast. This is when on my Facebook, anyone who likes my page on Facebook, it's gonna say that I am going live later today. So with that said, once I enter my broadcast studio, this is what I love about Streamyard, is that I can create any template, any background, anything that I want to have my brand going. So let's say that I want to say, as the video goes, I want to say, this is Distinctive Delphine, blah, blah, blah. I can say that. If I want, so in my branding, I have Coldwell Banker that can be there in the corner or in white if it's better for this video, or my own logo. Or I can also have overlays. And this is what I love best, because when I interview people and I have this setup, so let's say that I add myself to the stream, and then I do this setup or any other, I can have overlays that will introduce my guest, their brand. So I always put their logo, my brand, my logo, and then my talk up here. I can do this as well. This is a little, this is just an intro to show this is me, this is my brand, this is what I do with my logo. And every time that allows me a little bit of time when I say go live up here, it's gonna spin for a while, but like Adam said, you're already live. If you think you're not and you're talking, you are. So this little, it's 5 seconds, I think, little jingle just helps me with that. Todd also made this amazing countdown for us for when we go live. that is a whole 5 minutes. What's great about that countdown is that I can go live, get the countdown going, and start sharing already my live, or start watch parties in my favorite groups. And then it gives me 5 minutes to be everywhere at once. You can have backgrounds. So if I remove myself over here, and I add any background that I want, really anything that you want to do with StreamYard is available right here. What's also really great is that once you're live, your comments will show up here. I'm going to get comments from Facebook. I'm going to get comments from YouTube, and I can insert all the platform at once in one place right here. And as I answer them and as they show, I can also show like this, the comment for a minute. I can say, oh, look, Adam is here and he loves my content. Thanks, Adam. And then I take it away. And then I add again, oh, thanks for joining in, blah, blah, blah. And then you can always add your comments, your banners, you know, we'll be live in 5 minutes, really anything that you want, and always stick to your brand. And that's StreamYard for you.
Can I wanted to mention, so we call it a webinar because that's what it's called in Zoom, but you can use this for all different purposes. It doesn't have to be like you are teaching people something. In my office, I use it, we do a virtual home tour. So we'll have 5 properties a week. We keep our webinar to the same, or the virtual open house at the same exact time every week, so people know to tune in, and then we advertise that event. And then we go live with panelists, just like Delphine and Adam and I are. But then we share the screen to show off. In my case, it's a Matterport videos. We love using those. That's our first pick, because then you can kind of walk through the house and it is actually like a virtual home tour. We've also used a visual tour. That's one program we use in the office, or even just scrolling through really good professional photography. We're using a video that we've created professionally. So those are the different ways we've done it. Adam and Delphine, I did want to ask what you guys prefer when you're out in the field. Do you use it for more than just tips for first-time home buyers and webinars, but what other things do you use it for?
I do use it for the virtual open houses, because now you can register people to go in, right? And again, check out the video that Todd posted, because you can do it. You can do open houses now. It's brand new. I guess it just came out last week. You can do open houses through IQ's back office and set it up so that whether you're in person or not, and it's a recorded video, or you're doing a live stream on Facebook or anywhere else, you can get that registration. So, but basically, sky is the limit. Anything you can do to get people to type their name in and grab their info, that's what you want to do.
Well, and what's great is that you give them the option too. So they can log in and go through your webinar, log in. And if they don't want to, they have the live on Facebook too. They have the option. Now, if they interact with you on Facebook, follow up with them. That is something, it's gold. If they've interacted with you and asked you a question in your comment, make sure that when you're done, you touch base with them and say, hey, thanks so much for watching. I loved having you on, and then follow up with them, because even though they didn't register, then now you have their information. You can be the rock for them and the expert.
And that's super, super important, the follow-up. Make sure to schedule time after your webinar meeting that you're going to go back, especially for the people that that didn't register through Zoom or anywhere else. They still registered because they commented on your Facebook page. So now you can go in through Messenger on Facebook and contact each one of those people, right? It's super important to schedule time for that.
A couple of things, just a couple of pieces. I'm getting some questions of people asking to talk. You are on a webinar format, so you don't have the ability to speak. You can type clearly your question into the Q&A. We will ask the questions, but you just have to type them clearly, and we're happy to do that. As far as getting a copy of this recording, you can do so at www.cbdistinctive.com/webinars. This one will be up in a couple of hours. You have access to all of our recordings of other panels and coaches, et cetera. We'll do everything we possibly can to get through all of these, okay? Samson, my friend, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. This is a webinar. All right, let's see. Got a couple of other questions.
Yep.
CBIQ is our technology platform. It is the technology platform currently being used by the folks represented here, Heritage House, as well as Distinctive Properties. I'm happy to share with you any of that information. Yes, Kanisha, got you access. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, where did you put, they're asking where you put the video that Adam's been talking about on the open houses.
There were folks that are not using CDIQ. So it was on our private Facebook page.
That's what I thought. Got it.
And to answer the question about having a video to broadcast, yes, you'll have a recording that you can load up to YouTube if you're on Zoom. And if you're on Streamyard, you can just go live on YouTube and you'll have that video that you can edit from YouTube as well. So if you have a YouTube account, it's very helpful. You should always load any of your content from Facebook or wherever you like to post any videos. Make sure you load it up to your YouTube account. Even if you don't have views now, you might later, and the more content you build, the better you will perform.
I wanted to ask you two how you advertise your events, because I know there's some particulars that I've figured out, and I wanted to see how you do it timing wise, how far in advance, what time of day, all those kind of things, if you could speak to that.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let Adam say that. I think we just both agree that we should try it all, right? So we tried a week ahead, a day ahead, 2 days ahead, or just go live because we felt like it. The last couple months, I think that's really what we've been doing. Again, I think that my most views are from the shares, no matter what. But since I started with the link of the webinar, the registration, then I would advise to do it a week ahead of time. And then remind them the day before, because that's when everybody is looking. They won't remember, but then you can select an ad on Facebook. And so if you do it ahead of time and you have an ad, then you're constantly there for people to know. So that's really what I think, Adam, would you agree? That's probably on Facebook specifically what works best, is to create the event a week ahead and run an ad for 5 days.
Maybe today. Here's the thing with all of this stuff, guys, is it literally changes hour by hour.
It does.
When we were all stuck at home, I know things are opening up now, but now that COVID is when we were stuck at home, during COVID, we found out that if you advertised more than 48 hours in advance or even 24 hours in advance, it was already lost because people were on their phones and on their computers all day long scrolling. Now we're kind of getting back more to the norm. So I think as much advance notice as you can do, and don't forget email, guys. Take that link and email it to everybody in your CRM. Okay, it's super important. One thing I've learned that still blows my mind, and I know it's true because I've taken a couple courses on it now, is email is still the best return on your investment, period. It blows everything else out of the water. So make sure when you're doing an event or doing anything else, you know, you're going to post on Facebook, you're going to post on Instagram, you're going to post on LinkedIn, YouTube, all of these sites, but also don't forget to email your sphere. Those are your people. They already love you and they will watch you and at least maybe sign up or whatever. But it's a great way to connect with people. And
they will share for you. Share. Ask all of your friends.
What you guys begin to hear, for those of you on the call, what you begin to hear and you start to sort of develop some alignment with, is that things have not changed, right? It still requires you to pick up the phone. It still requires you to follow up. It still requires you to be relentless. What's really happened is some of the technology has changed, and frankly, we've gotten, because of the use of technology, we've gotten the ability to connect with more people and connect with more people more regularly, even without having to be the one always doing it. So whether it be a pre-recorded, which I love, by the way, right? Because you're talking an ability to do this pre-scheduled, using all of the registrations, all these pieces, but you have to follow up. When we listen to Jason Pantana, or maybe it was Chuck Whitehead saying, hey, listen, you've got to respond with a 4-word minimum, right, on social media. Well, here's a place for you to respond, 4-word medium. When you hear Jason Pantana say, hey, listen, let the post rest a little bit, right? So you have all these people that are like, oh, that's a super cool house, that's awesome. Rather than just completely like answering all of them at one time, answer them, let it rest for 24 hours and add another 4-word response, right? That gets it back to the top. Adding it to your social media. You're stacking all of these things. What you're doing is you're becoming a tech-enabled agent. And it is incredibly powerful. Those people who are doing these things are having exceptional success at a very, very early time in their careers, right? Delphine is a perfect example. She's really dove in, almost so said divin, but I don't know where that came from, but she really dove into the technology side, and she's having tremendous success. Adam, the reason Adam is here, right, is because, as you can see, he completely and totally geeked out on the technology. He lost me there a couple of times, but the bottom line is that there are people out there, or videos that you can watch just like this one that will really help you step by step. But you have to do it.
GTS, baby. Google that stuff. That's how I've learned everything. Just Google. A question, punch it in Google. A video is going to come up and teach you how to do it.
And some things you guys just pointed out, if you record it first and then you push, so you record it and then you go live, you're going to be better able, if you're just one agent doing it. I have a team of people that's helping me pull this off with a lot of agents to get a lot of views, but you can better manage your comments that way. And one trick I learned from Adam was that you can create a small group that's just you and one other person to go live to see how this all works. And then you can do it in a bigger area. That way you don't have to be afraid to press live that first time.
Yeah, definitely practice first.
Do you guys, so can you, the last thing I really wanted to have you guys speak to was about having each other help each other. There's a way to have agents work together, even if it's people in other areas, that it's all about the sharing. So yes, you get your sphere to share your video, but it's also about agents in other areas saying, hey, check out what they're doing, like Durango, Colorado. I'm in Philadelphia. I want to know what's going on there. So it makes you an expert, or maybe not an expert, but you have the larger Coldwell Banker network that you can help make you have more views and you get more leads where you're at. So if you guys have anything you wanted to mention about that, working together.
Yeah, the more, again, this goes back to the more it's shared, the more people are going to see it. So if you have what we do in the social media squad, for those of you that haven't seen any of our previous webinars on them that we've done, or these AMAs, is you go to your people and you say, hey, I'm about to go do my live open house at 3 o'clock. Can you guys all share that for me, please? And all of a sudden, you got people from all over the country sharing that video that's about to come on, or that event. And again, your numbers explode. But again, views are great, and that gets you to be your expert in your local area, and you're good for branding. But I love all that, and I want all that. But more than that, if you can only spend time on one thing, I want the leads. I want to talk to these people. So it's really important to follow up. We can't stress that.
Those are free, guys. You're not paying for them unless you do a $5 ad on Facebook. Yeah.
I'm sorry, for $55, you can really, I mean, I know I'm not one of these people, but I'm following people that do nothing but sit at their computer and make $500,000, $1 million in GCI, and they're not going out and showing any houses. They're not going out and doing in-person open houses. They've really leveraged all of this new and exciting tech that's coming out. So you can do it too, to as much as you want.
And lastly, referrals. You really broaden your connections with other offices, and they love working with you, and then referrals come your way and you send referrals their way. So it really just expands your network like you would not believe. I'm brand new, and my sphere and my contacts in our IQ are at 1,300. It's hard to keep up.
Those are all huge. And, just keep in mind, one of the things we used to talk about a lot, right, when you went and did a regular open house was you needed to put out 22 signs. Do you remember that dialogue? We were like, hey, listen, signs matter. One of the reasons that signs matter is because they need to see you. They need to see you a lot, right? Remember, they don't even know who you are until they've seen you 14 times. Once they see you 14 times, they may not have even spoken to you. They have this deep-seated trust in you. And those are the people that you meet in the grocery store. They're like, oh, hey, I know you. Hey, Heather, how are you, right? And the reason for that is because they have developed a trust by seeing you. Well, in many cases with COVID, we obviously weren't able to do that. We had to pivot a little bit. So rather than putting 22 signs out, which you definitely should, and I don't care if it's open house or if you've got a listing, you should at least have 3 signs out because what you're doing is you're activating the reticular activating system. Okay, that's that thing that when you went out and bought that red car that you thought nobody had, and then all of a sudden you saw nothing but those red cars, that's the part of your brain that filters information that's coming in. So what you're doing now on social media, this is, again, webinars are a perfect way by putting them up, by creating an event, by posting, by inviting, by sending via email, by sharing once it goes live. You're putting more and more content so that you are activating the RAS and people see you everywhere, right? That's when they begin to go, oh my gosh, Adam, dude, you are crushing it. I see you everywhere. That's what you're doing.
Yep.
I hear that all the time, and I only had 1 closing yesterday so far in my career. But I see, thank you. But I see people all the time who are telling me, oh my God, you're a realtor now. I love what you're doing online. And that is priceless to me. So, anything else? Any other questions, Teresa?
I'm not seeing any questions
not
coming
seeing
in,
anything.
just some thank yous.
Yep.
That's a great idea, Heather. Thank you.
Mhm.
And guys, reach out to us if there is a specific question and you want to do a screen share. That's what we're here for. We don't mind sharing it, and we all we're not perfect. We just tried this out for days on, tried what works, and that's it.
All right, Ellen, we got some things. Thank you. Yes, lots of thank yous. Love that. Hey, you guys, make sure that you connect with these agents and leaders. Heather, leader in Durango, a surrounding area. Delphine's in Montrose and that surrounding area. You've got Adam up in Montana. Guys, what are your social media wise? Let's go Instagram. Everybody using Instagram? How do they connect with you on Instagram?
I'm the real Adam Greenberg.
I'm at Distinctive Delphine.
You've got a thank you, you guys. You've got a thank you from Coldwell Banker Barcelona. I hope you live in Barcelona. So thank you very much for being on here.
I want to come visit.
Yes.
Me too.
I'm Todd P. Conklin on Instagram. You can connect with me there, and we post all kinds of this good stuff out there. So anything we can do for you all, please let us know.
Thanks
All right,
for the
I'll just give
opportunity.
a couple more minutes here.
You're welcome, you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, reach out to me if you guys need any. I know I went quick, and if the video isn't very specific, I'm happy to spend 20 minutes, a half hour, and show you how to do this stuff to the best of my ability. And remember, I've been doing it for about 10 seconds longer than you have. So if I can do it, I guarantee you can do it, because I am terrible.
Yep.
Delphine, can you, both you and Heather, repeat your contact information, please?
Mine's Heather at realestatedurango.com. I just wrote it in the chat.
Okay, great.
I'm at realtor@distinctivedelphine.com, and all social media platform Distinctive Delphine.
And there aren't too many Heather Herbs out there. I'm pretty visible, so go ahead and Google me.
Beautiful.
And find me.
There's only one of me.
Hey guys, for those of you that are in different markets, make sure you put in the chat box where you are so that you can connect with some other agents. That's, again, the power of these webinars, is that you all are building relationships and seeing your names. So next time I see, Tom Rolfe, I'm going to go, hey, I've seen that name before, right?
Mhm. And there's another question about the IQ. So CBIQ it's a platform that we use. It's our back-end office, as does Heritage House uses it as well. So it's an actual platform. If you want information on how to get involved with them, you can reach out to me and I'll put my information in there and I can connect you.
Wisconsin, King Thompson, love it. Montana,
Kenesha's in Ohio. That's where I'm from. Yeah.
Little Rock, Garden City, good old Durango, SoCal, Long Beach, go Long Beach.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going to let the chat box remain open. I won't end this. So for those people that want to continue to put their names in and they can connect with our panelists and others. Otherwise, for those of you departing, thank you for being here and we'll hope to see you at our next AMA.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks to everybody.
Moreno Valley.
Nice.
Out of California.
Yo in OC. Oh, we got a little.
Joe, we need to connect. I've got 3 people who called from California this week. I think they all want to come to Colorado. You should move too.
Oh, so Tom Rolfe's up with Danforth. How's everything going up in Seattle, Tom?
They're just starting phase 2 is what I heard. Not nearly as bad.
That is the news. I love it. Fake news, Tom. Fake news.
1.5. Yep.
All right, everybody. Well, we got 2 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap. Thanks again to our expert panel. I really appreciate you guys. Till next time. See you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.